going on, YouTube? So today I want to talk about how to figure out if a car is a good deal or not, in terms of actually buying a car. The reason why I'm saying that is because I have a buddy that's looking to buy a car. Well, he's actually trying to buy a moped, but it's the same rules apply. So I wanted to talk about how to figure out if it's a good deal or not. So first off, you figure out what kind of car you need. Well, once you figure out what kind of car you need, let's say you're a family, you're looking for an average family sedan, you look at the ratings of certain cars, then you look at how much the prices are for them, and then you got to figure out what's your budget. So let's say your budget is a low budget of $10,000. So you could get a lot of fairly good cars that are pretty, it's fairly used, not too many miles, fairly new, and you could get them for a pretty good rate, generally, at a pretty good price. So let's say your price is about $10,000 and you're trying to buy a Honda Accord. You really like it and you want to buy one. You could buy one fairly used, just like mine, for about $8,000 to $12,000 generally. Mine's the oldest one, so I would get about $8,000 for it, generally around that price range, depending on where I go. Fully loaded, it'll be around $12,000 if you want the newest one. If you want a fully loaded one, I would say go for the oldest one to mid-range one. Generally, where you figure that out is you look at how much dealerships are selling them for, and you figure out an average price. If the price is lower than the average price being sold, then it can still qualify as a good deal. But the thing you got to look at is how many miles it has. So let's say you want your used car to be around 100,000 miles. Let's say that. Around 100,000 miles for a Honda Accord, that's actually pretty good. It's still in its pretty good range. You could get at least 200,000 miles, and you'll start to have, not major, you'll start to have minor issues where you got to replace things. Generally, it's around the 150,000 mark where you got to start watching for it, but 200,000 mark, you'll be golden. So, I mean, not golden, but you'll be still okay. So let's say you want something that's reliable, you want something that's 100,000 miles, and you're looking at a Honda Accord. At that point, that price is gonna be around $9,000 to $13,000. For a fully loaded one, you can knock down the trims a little bit. Let's say you want a mid-grade one, which will generally go for around around seven or eight, which is still fine. You look at the price, you figure out how much you can spend, and since your budget is $10,000, you want to say you can find a pretty good deal. You look at the mileage, you look at the prices being sold for, and another thing you need to look at is the maintenance. Maybe the reason why they're selling it at a lower price is because maybe it needs some maintenance done. So if there's a couple things that need to be done to it, like let's say the timing belt needs to be done, or a new set of tires needs to be put on, there's $800 right there to fix the car totally, get it not brand new, but get it in good running condition, new tires all around, timing belt, or since that car's on a timing chain, you probably don't have to worry about it. Maybe it just needs new spark plugs and a quick tune-up. But if you do that car, you'll be fine. Let's say you want a sports car. and let's say your budget is $5,000. At that point, you should only be looking at used cars. The way you look at that is you go on forums. Oh, that's another thing you can do as well. Look at forums for that specific car that you're looking for. Read reviews on them, see how people like them. Go for a couple test drives. If you think it's good, then I'd say why not go for it. But if you don't think it's great, then I wouldn't do it. When you look at used cars, you look at the things that need to be done. You look at the alignment. You look at all the maintenance. You look at the Carfax. You can look at the Carfax. Not everything's on the Carfax. Maybe probably about half of it. Look at the Carfax. Also, see how many owners it had. Take it for a test drive, obviously. And last but not least, whenever you buy a used car, always pop the hood. Check the oil. Check all the components underneath. And if you have a mechanic friend, I would highly suggest bringing him along too, because he could definitely look at that for you. He'll give you a good second opinion. He or she, doesn't matter who. I would definitely do that. Bring them along, look at the car, get their opinion on it. If they don't like it, I would probably stick with their idea and say, you know what, I'm not going to do it. If they like it and they think it's pretty good quality, then I would say go for it. Why not? You got nothing to lose at that point if you got a second opinion and you both think it's good, especially if you're both mechanics. Now, another thing that people don't tell you in the dealerships, they try to hide this from you, but another thing you should look for, and this is kind of major, if when you pop the hood, also check pretty much every single body panel in the front. Around the engine bay, there should be a VIN number on the pieces, and the reason why companies do that, they put the VIN number, is so that this way when it goes to be resold, it'll show that hasn't been hit. And if you're looking at a car and you see a body panel that doesn't have the VIN number where it's supposed to be, then that's an automatic indicator that it has been replaced, and generally it means that it's been hit. So it could be a minor accident to the point where it just needed that fender replaced, or it could have been a major one. But it's a for sure indicator that it's been hit. And that's one thing people need to remember, is if it's been hit or not. That's one thing that dealerships try to hide, it hasn't been hit or it's been hit. But some dealerships will be honest with you, like some of the salesmen, it's been hit, but I don't know where. And they'll tell you it's been hit, but they won't tell you where exactly. That's something you would have to figure out. But to cars that have been hit, generally you'll tell by the VIN number being missing. Like for the front bumper, they have it on the like in the front of the engine bay, towards the front on the plastic panel piece. The VIN would be right there. And on the two left sides, they have not the two left sides. On the two sides, both the left and the right, there is a VIN number there, generally to show that it hasn't been hit. There's a VIN number all the way in the back for the engine as well by the firewall. That's the metal piece in between the engine and the dashboard. There's a VIN number there too. There's also one by the wiper blades and one on the doors. Generally on driver and passenger door in the front. Generally, that's where the VIN numbers are. I know I was dragging a little bit. I was trying to remember where exactly, but if you're looking for a used car, look to see if it's been hit, look how many miles it has, figure out the average price, and most importantly, have your budget, and also determine, before you figure out how much the car is going to cost, first do your budget, then figure out how many cars are, like, how many different models are being sold within your budget. Third, go through the type of preferences you want, whether it's a family sedan or a sports car, American, Japanese, Korean, German, Scandinavian, whatever type of company you want, whether it's European, Asian, or domestic. So if you want any of those cars, go ahead, figure out what cars qualify at that point, and then go from there. Look at the models, look at the price, look at the price, figure out what's lower than the average, and generally how many miles it has for what pretty much the best bang for your buck. Lower the miles generally means the less it's been driven. That's generally the rule of thumb. But there's another test, generally the runtime test, but I'm not going to go into that. How many miles it has and what the price is, and you can pretty much figure it out at that point. But I know I dragged on this video way too long. I'm trying to cut it short, and I will see you in the next one. I know I'm dealing with traffic, that's why. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.